What's good, Plumboro? I'm Drew Barto, alongside my co-host, Mike Devine.
What's going on?
And Justin Newman.
Yo.
And show producer and your favorite feline, the one and only Big Cat.
Good evening.
We aim to entertain and educate more than 3 Plum residents by debating some of the trending topics in the borough, from school board and council happenings to business openings, conspiracy theories, and everything in between. Welcome to the Sour Plums podcast, friends. We're going to kick off this episode with a little bit of a rewind to our first 2 weeks of fantasy football in the Sour Plums Fantasy League. And I want to pose this question to you guys. Who had the more miserable week? Newman, with his Eagles losing, or me, losing to my mom in fantasy football?
This is very easy. The Eagles should have won that game, and we gave it away. While frustrating, I didn't lose to my fucking mom in fantasy.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
I've never lost my mom in fantasy. Like that's.
Have you ever played your mom in fantasy?
I don't think so, but
okay.
That's irrelevant.
No, that's very relevant. That's a very relevant.
If I did, she would not win.
What do you say, Big Cat? Is this consensus? Am I the big loser here?
I don't know why. Karen Bartow is a lovely woman, and it was so nice of her to come up and find me and meet me. It was very nice to meet your mom.
She was like, where's Big Cat sit? And I said, well, usually up in the top left side of the bleachers with a canopy. You'll find him there. And she went out and found you there. I mean, she'll make friends with anybody, so it's not a shock that she made friends with Big Cat.
No, it was a very nice conversation. So Eagles losing is definitely more embarrassing in my opinion.
Wow. And I agree. So I guess it's a tie.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. Trust me. She's sitting here watching games with me. Like every time she went to say something, I'm like, Mom, it's fine. Like I'm just trying to minimize everything she's saying because I'm so pissed off. I didn't want her to see how pissed off I was. But she is, honestly, guys, she is so happy to be doing this. She's never done fantasy football before, but she's always wanted to. She is beside herself, thrilled with Dylan. And then this beating me, I know she didn't rub it in, but man, I know she's happy. She's really freaking happy.
Andy was literally the emotion from inside out. He was the anger emotion. I guarantee it. He was the anger emotion.
I do want to mention really quickly before we talk a little bit more about the league, who our prize sponsors for the league are. Thank you to Salute Beer and Sports Card Every Month. They are sponsoring our prizes for the Sour Plums Fantasy League. So thank you guys, and check those guys out. I know a lot of you are familiar with both of those businesses, and give them some more love for sponsoring us. Guys, I do want to take a real quick look at the standings. There are 3 people on this show that are in the top 6, which would be a playoff spot. That'd be myself, Justin, and Big Cat, along with the 3 women in the league, my mom, Bajas, and Brittany Bauer. So the 3 women in the league and the 3 people on this panel are in the league in the playoffs as of today. Brothers Devine, 7, 8, and 9, just outside of the playoffs. And all 3 Jimmies, Garris, McBride, and Lawson, are 10 through 12.
It's kind of poetic.
Thank God it's not over after week 2. Let's calm down a little bit, guys.
You're already touting that you had the high score for week 2, and you're still out of the playoffs. So, I mean,
yeah, because I also had the lowest in week 1. Everybody tripped over their own feet apparently and couldn't freaking play.
All right, fellas, what are we drinking tonight?
So, as we just saw right before we jumped on camera, Justin and I are twinning tonight with our orange hard Mountain Dew.
Woo!
Nice.
Baja Blast Punch, baby.
Big Cat?
Is that what it's called?
I have iced tea tonight.
Iced tea? And
Yep.
I am breaking my rule that I said I would never not have a drink on this show. And because I have to wake up in about 4.5, 5 hours to catch a flight, I am drinking water.
So, Andy, you dropped that.
What did I drop, Mike?
Your tampon. It's right next to you.
I was trying to lay it out there for you, Mike, so you could say it. But you interrupted me, so there goes the joke.
There it is.
Pick up your man pawn.
That's 2 of my jokes cut out.
2 jokes already gone from the episode.
You guys should rehearse that better next time.
All right, I'm going to give a thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Continental Comb, Tresco Concrete, the Jen Mascara Real Estate Team, the Lulu's Pizzeria, Salute Beer Distributor, and we have 2 new sponsors. Busy Little Me, right, Mike? Is that one of them?
That's one of them.
And the other is the Pittsburgh Sports Complex and Self Storage. We'll have more about them later in the episode. But yeah, thank you to Busy Little Me and Pittsburgh Sports Complex and Self Storage for joining our list of sponsors.
I know sometimes it's easy to skip over these ads, but we approve these ads in our show because there are businesses that we want to support. You might listen to the podcast every week. Don't skip through the ads. Listen to them. Find out what we're providing through these businesses and go out and support the local businesses because we're putting them on the show because we support them. So I'm taking Graham to get a Continental Comb haircut here shortly because he needs one.
If you mention the podcast, you get $5 off.
I'm going to mention the podcast because I know the ad. So listen to it, know it, and when you need it, or pass it on.
Couldn't say it better myself. Absolutely listen to the ads and skip over Big Cat's lectures. Continental Comb Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete, the best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra-free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com.
Lilulo's Pizzeria, serving up quality food, good grace, and burnt pizza since 2016. Local and woman-owned, located at 415 Unity Center Road in Plum. Call 412-795-1229 and mention Sour Plums for 10% off your order of $10 or more. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
At Salute Beer Distributor, we are bringing you a large selection of beers from local and national breweries. Our extensive inventory includes craft beers, seasonal specialties, your everyday favorites, adult slushies, and an impressive inventory of non-alcoholic beers. Salute's inventory has something special for every palate. Come browse the aisles at Salute Beer Distributor, located on Route 286 in Plum, next to Shop and Save. You'll be glad you did.
Busy Little Me's is a residential cleaning company serving Plum and local communities. Housekeeping duties include house cleaning, disposing of rubbish, sanitizing services, dusting, vacuuming, mopping, scrubbing, etc., etc. We do custom-to-you cleans once a month, once a week, or every 9 minutes. We got you, sis. We've also been known to do decluttering and pre-clean cleans. That's a real thing. We can also polish a dirty face, scrub a doggo's filthy paws, or even spit shine your shoe. Laundry? Need linens washed? Done. How about your husband's gutchies? No prob. That ugly camisole your mother-in-law gave you? What was that? Just throw it away? Your secrets are safe with us. BusyLittleMe's.squarespace.com, BusyLittleMe's.squarespace.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We'll jump right into Plum Problems. First problem here, before we do this, Justin, you're raising two fine young men, correct?
I believe so. I am.
Raising them to be good, strong men.
I am.
Big Cat, you're raising two young men, big, strong men, like raising them to be men.
Yes.
Drew, you're raising a son. You want to be a nice, good, strong man.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, I as well, raising a son, wanting to be a good, strong man. Drew, you're killing me here.
Why am I killing you?
I want to go back to September 7th, when you're making all the men on this podcast look bad. You had the man cold, and you had to post it on Facebook.
The man cold.
Recovered?
I have recovered. It took me a full 3 to 4 days, but I recovered. I mean, that's Mike. Can I interrupt this since you brought it up?
I mean, you already have. Go ahead.
I mean, the big thing for me is women will never experience a man cold, right? They never know what it feels like to be us when we get a cold. It's not just the sniffles. It knocks me out, and I have to rest and watch football for 3 straight days in order to regroup. It just so happened I got sick Thursday night, and the whole weekend had opening weekend of football going on. I just couldn't have timed it any better if I tried.
The man cold gets under my skin. Just suck it up, man up.
You never had a man cold before? It doesn't surprise me.
I've had a cold, and I've gone about my life.
What about you guys? You ever had a man cold? Bullshit.
No, bro, I'm sick. Fucking keep pushing. What else am I gonna do?
Relax.
I had open heart surgery. I took 7 days off of work, and I worked from my house. I worked from the hospital. From the hospital, I worked.
That's twice as long as I took off for the man cold.
It was open heart surgery.
Oh, I had closed heart cold. What do you want me to
We're
Am I to believe that I'm the only one who's had a man cold? Big Cat, are you not going to jump in here and save me?
Clarify this for me, because I feel like the man cold in circles I'm in is like you're complaining about what's bothering you a lot. You're whining about it.
Like posting on Facebook?
I don't know if that was just whining or you got some time on your hands.
Listen, Big Cat doesn't get the man cold. He just gets hangovers for 4 days.
It was bad, guys. I'm never drinking again.
All right, I do want to crowdsource this. Go to our Facebook page. If you're a man or you know a man, have you ever experienced the man cold, and is it not worse than a cold that a woman typically gets?
I would also like to point out our wives should actually key in on this one to see if this
we
is
definitely want their
happened.
perspective on it. Yeah.
When I tell Jess I'm sick, I want her to know that I'm actually sick, and if I lay down, I'm not able to function.
Yeah, that's as sick as I get is a cold. I haven't had open heart surgery yet. Knock on wood.
It's fun.
I don't.
The medication was fantastic.
But that's a perk.
But no, the worst part of the open heart surgery was my back hurt for like 3 weeks because they literally cut my chest open and my shoulder blades were touching in the back. They had me like filleted open. I
work with someone who just had it about 3 weeks ago, and it's a hell of a recovery process for sure.
Yeah, it's different now. I think they're going through a rib. The one I had, they going through your rib now, and not to minimize it, but it just the recovery time is a little bit quicker now. Not much, but a little bit.
No, it's serious. It's serious surgery. But it's no man cold.
It's not. It's not a man cold. All right, we'll move on. This is about a week old at this point, but where do we stand on Tyreek Hill and getting pulled over and how he handled it? Because the video's out now. We've all seen it. Did he handle it correctly? Did the police officers overreact? Where
are you at, Mike?
I think if his reasoning that he said that he didn't say to the police, but he said afterwards, if his reasoning was what it was, had he said that, I think he has a case, but I don't think he said that to the police. His reasoning was if people see him pulled over, they're going to know it's him and it's going to cause a bigger scene, which I agree with 100%. I don't think he was as cooperative as he said he was. I think the police overreacted a little bit, or they probably flexed their muscles a little bit more than they should have. But I think the whole situation could have been handled better on both sides. But his celebration after his touchdown that day was fantastic.
It was, and I guess it comes back to this for me, Mike. Was he 100% cooperative in the way that the police would want him to be? No, of course not. But here's the thing. If you or I would have done the same thing, we wouldn't have had somebody's knee on our back on the ground with 4 cops holding us down. Wouldn't have happened. And nor would we have gotten our knees taken out from us later on when we were saying, hey, I just had surgery. And the guy comes out and takes you down. Like, that's cowardice. Like, easy, tough, guys. That's tough. That's abuse of power is what that is. Yes, it could have been handled better by both. But when it comes down to it, being a little bit of a jerk is not violence. Right? And what happened after that was violence. My opinion.
Agree.
As a black man, I know better than to react the way that he reacted. But also, I understand why he reacted the way that he reacted. Was he in the wrong? I would say it was probably 80-20. He was the 20. They were the 80. That was completely blown out of proportion, and it was an abuse of power. And sorry, gents, it's 2024, but shit hasn't changed.
Wait, you're black?
Huh? Who knew?
I heard the arresting officer is part of the Bills Mafia. Was that true?
Was
that a joke?
I'm waiting for. Is that a punchline? Where are we going with that?
Maybe they were Bills fans. Here, I'll try this one. I actually heard the police officers were Bills fans. Is that true?
Moving on.
Both kind of fell flat there, Big Cat.
Yeah.
Try it again. Try a third time's a charm. I've heard.
No, I don't have any better
Maybe
than
he was
that.
on. Maybe he was on his fantasy. He maybe on the team he was playing in
No, it's
fantasy that
okay.
week.
I just didn't know if you were that was actually a joke or you actually heard that. I honestly did not know. I was
the same.
Yeah.
I
Stunned.
was like,
Okay.
sure.
Stunned silence.
Did that
All
happen?
right, that's fine.
Oh shit!
I wish. So, Andy, can you actually edit that part and just put crickets after the fact that he says it? He won't do it. That's what
It's
that
up
would
to-
be fun.
It's up to Big
add
Cat this
crickets,
week.
Andy.
It's up to Big Cat this
Andy,
week.
add
I'm out
crickets to
of
the
town. I'm out of
to
town.
the
It's all
track.
Big
Go
Cat.
ahead and do that.
Big Cat, add
I'll
crickets.
wait.
Add crickets.
I'll wait.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Big Cat, seriously, what are your thoughts on this? Do you not care to delve into such a serious topic?
I think honestly the police overreacted, but I feel like he was underreacting. Like he wasn't kind of doing the process that they were trying to get his information, get his windows down. He was playing it cool. You know, he's a celebrity. You know, he probably feels like they should know who he is immediately. But cooperate more and be quick about it. And I think the cops got carried away once they had him. It's like honestly, it sometimes comes down to they put their foot down and then they can't pick it back up. Like they draw the line in the sand, but then they can't ease up when maybe like it gets a little like they can't de-escalate. So police officers, police in general, in my opinion, because you get tunnel vision, and once you have them, like, okay, get out of the car. Now you're getting out. It's like almost like a parent-child relationship. It's like, okay, you're not listening. I'm just gonna more force, really put my foot down, and that's how he ends up on his stomach.
I think too. I mean, yeah, it was Tyreek Hill, right? What if it wasn't Tyreek Hill? What if it wasn't in the morning in broad daylight in a busy intersection? That could have gotten a lot worse, a lot quicker, and it has way too often in this country for me or for anybody, for black men in general. And that's where I think we really got to look at this and say, whoa, that went too far. Like you have got to be able to control yourself as a police officer in a position of power like that on things like that. Yeah, you want 100% cooperation. Yes, typically people give that to you, but there was no threat from Tyreek Hill at all, right? There was no aggression that I saw in the videos, at least.
No, I think the threat was the tinted windows and he couldn't see inside the car. I think that was his biggest fear because you don't know.
You don't know what's in there, right?
So, all right, moving on. So I had a few people over this weekend. I got a smoker a couple weekends ago and had a few people over to have some smoked meats this weekend, and we were watching the Pitt West Virginia game. And out of nowhere, so the kids were running around being crazy loud, and out of nowhere, Alan just goes, "Let's play the quiet game. First one to talk loses." So it was funny. Everybody's laughing. Kids all leave. They didn't care. We're like 10 minutes into it, and I realized Alan hasn't said a word, and he wins all the time at his house as well.
So Alan plays the quiet game too.
Yeah, he whenever, like, I think I was one of like the last ones to speak. So he, as soon as I spoke, he pointed at me and laughed. And I was like, "What's he doing?" And then, but Alan won.
So you forgot that you were playing the quiet game.
I didn't know that I was actually in it. I just didn't have anything to say. And then Jeremy was here. He spoke, and then Alan was the winner. And then his wife said, "Yeah, they play this all the time at home, and he never loses."
Alan, you got to tell us about this. Explain this. Where did this come from? He's playing the quiet game right now.
He's playing right now.
I'm just really good at it. But at Mike's house, I celebrated, I thought, a little too early because Jeremy, I thought, hadn't talked, but he was playing it cool. And I was like sitting back, paying attention. All the kids started talking, the adults started talking. And I didn't realize that Jeremy hadn't talked yet. And I'm getting my wife's attention, and I'm like putting a hand with like a crown up over my head, like I'm the champion. Let everyone know. And then I'm like, oh crap, Jeremy hasn't talked. Now it's like gonna be focused on. But then he spoke. I don't think he wanted like, sorry, Jeremy, you don't want the smoke. I won't talk for the rest of my life. I will win this. Yeah, me and my brother-in-law Brandon are usually the ones that win because we'll just not talk until the other one does. But yep.
So you first started
Dedication.
describing this, I thought you were talking about it's like the quiet games for the kids to be quiet, right? I thought that was sort of the thing. But
That was the thing for the party, because the
Yeah.
kids were being way too loud. But they honestly probably started talking again before, half the adults. So
well done, adults.
I wish my kids were better at that game.
But they're not. They're not good at that game.
My kids are awful at that game.
Not many kids are good at the quiet game, I can imagine.
No. And mine suck. All right, Drew, tell us what's good in the hood.
Mike, we are joined tonight by Dr. Ashley DeVito. Dr. DeVito is in her first full year as the assistant principal at Plum Middle School. We at Sire Plums take great pride in introducing Plum residents to educational leaders inside of our community, and we wanted you to all get to know one of the newest. Ashley, thank you for joining Sire Plums.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, we're glad to have you here, and we'd love for the people of Plum to get to know you better. Can you share some background on your academic and professional journey that started as a Penn Hills grad and led you to become the assistant principal at Plum Middle School?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated from the Penn Hills Senior High School in 2011. When I was a student there, I had the opportunity to participate in a professional experience program, and I decided to do a half day of traditional studies and a half day as an intern at Forbes Elementary School, which was an elementary school in the Penn Hills School District at the time. I loved teaching, and it was something that I immediately knew that I connected with and wanted to pursue. So I went to Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania for my undergrad, where I studied early childhood and special education. I loved working with young children, and it was super fulfilling. However, I felt as though I would love to pursue the opportunity to work with older students. The reason I never pursued that as an educator was simply because I don't think I had a content that I was super passionate about. To teach at the secondary level, you have to love biology or love algebra. You really have to love your content, be a master of the content to teach at that level. And quite frankly, I did not have a specific content area as an educator that I felt I would be able to really do my students justice as an educator.
Yeah.
However, I also love leadership. And I thought, well, I think I can be an educational leader at the secondary level. So I went back to school and I pursued my master's and my principal's papers. I did that online through Edinburgh as well, and just did that while I was working full time. And all the while, I was teaching at Propel schools. And after all of those things, I decided to go back one more time and complete my doctorate at Point Park University in educational leadership and administration. At that time, I had my first job in leadership as an assistant principal within Propel. And all those wonderful things have led me here.
Oh, that's an awesome journey. And I know I saw Justin's face when you said you graduated Penn Hills in 2011. I think you made us all feel pretty old on this, all of us here. Maybe not Big Cat, but the rest of us.
I know. I was one of those people. I went to school straight through. I never stopped. Yeah. So, I didn't take any breaks. So I was on the fast track trajectory. I just decided to get it all done and over with early.
That's awesome.
2011, I was on my third job in second marriage. So.
Was waiting for my second child to be born.
Now, Ashley, you started at Plum late in the school year last spring, if I got that correct.
Yes, correct.
Now, shortly thereafter, Dr. Zarmak kind of put you on the spot and had you run the middle school awards ceremony due to a conflict he had. What was that experience like for you? And were you nervous at all? Because I thought you killed it, but I wanted to kind of get your experience on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. No, I wasn't nervous, and I didn't feel like I was put on the spot or anything. I was excited for the opportunity, really just to meet families and students and community members within the school district. My first day at Plum last year was April 29th, so it was definitely the very end of the school year. And I had a great experience. I didn't get to know a lot of the students personally. Whenever I started, we were in the middle of PSSA testing. So in addition to it being so late in the school year, I didn't really see children the first 2 weeks. They were testing all day. So I had very limited time, especially with that 8th grade group that's now freshmen. So the awards ceremony was really an opportunity for me to spend time with those students and families and it was nice because it's just a joyous night. Children are being celebrated for all their accomplishments and all the great things that they did. So I didn't feel a lot of pressure because it was a really exciting event to be at. Everybody was happy. Everybody was thrilled to be there. So it was a really cool opportunity to let everybody put a face to my name and connect with the community. It was really nice.
You don't have to hold back. Adam, kind of a jerk, right? You don't.
No, he's great. We're having a great time. Come visit us anytime. We love it over there. We're having a ball.
No, Adam's great. We had him on our show earlier. I guess late last school year, right? I think it was maybe earlier in the summer, sometime then. He was great. He was great. But yeah, so what would you say has been the biggest adjustment from going from Propel Braddock Hills High School as also the assistant principal there, but now doing in the same role at Plum Middle School? What's been the biggest adjustment, or kind of what's been the biggest difference for you that you've seen?
Well, I loved my job at Propel. It was super fulfilling. I had an amazing experience there. One of the things that I was looking for whenever I transitioned to the Plum School District was the opportunity for a school district that was connected to a community and a school district that had the opportunity for and resources for students to be involved in so much more than just the ABC and the 1, 2, 3. Plum is immersed in an awesome community and people that are super invested in it, and there's sports and there's musicals and there's so many extracurricular activities and things for kids and families to be involved in, which I think is really exciting. And I wanted to be able to immerse myself not just in a school culture, but an entire community culture. I think in the charter school system, that's just challenging, right? You're not in a school district that is necessarily associated with a community. So for example, on Fridays, everybody wears their purple and gold and they go to the game, and that's an exciting thing to be a part of. And while, like I said, I had a tremendous experience at Propel, some of that connection in that community is just organically not there. So I'm really excited to be a part of not just a school district, but a community as well. And then another thing that was just an adjustment is the sheer size of it. My previous school setting was very small. In my entire high school, 9 to 12, there was less than 250 kids in the building. So
Wow.
I knew every single student by first and last name. Personally, I usually knew their parents. I knew everyone. So to come into a school environment where, there's 600 kids and I'm brand new and I don't know everybody, I think that was the biggest learning curve, is realizing that sometimes I might have an interaction with a child who I don't necessarily know them personally and know who they are. So that took a little bit to get used to. I'm very fortunate, and I was really thankful that I was able to have those few weeks at the end of last school year, because I feel like that gave me the opportunity to go through that learning curve process and learn how Plum Middle School functions. And then that way, at the start of this school year, I was really able to hit the ground running because the learning curve was already done.
Now, we all have multiple students in the Plum schools, and all of them. I actually have, this is the first year I have one at Pivot, I have one at the intermediate, and I have one at the high school. So they're all over the place, right? But I did want to touch on something serious as it relates to Plum student safety, because it's all critically important to everybody here. The Plum Borough School District became the first school in the state to implement the Centegix CrisisAlert System, which was designed to reduce response time to emergencies. Now, this system is being heralded nationally as a big reason the recent Appalachia High School shooting in Georgia didn't result in even more dead students, because the response time was so quick. Can you share with the hundreds of Plum parents listening to this how this system works and how you feel about having this in place in our schools?
It's been fantastic. So at the Plum Middle School, we have only used Centegix once thus far this school year. Whenever Centegix was initially rolled out to us as a leadership team, I think everybody's first reaction is to think of, oh, this is something that is used in the case of an emergency. And when we think of the word emergency, it can be a very scary word, and we automatically think of the worst case scenario. However, there's so many children in our schools every single day, hundreds of kids, thousands of kids at the high school, and there might be a student that has epilepsy, or there might be a teacher that didn't eat a lot for breakfast and they faint one morning, right? And I think that we sometimes associate Centegix or emergency, like I said, with worst case scenario. But whenever you're working in the business of people and you're working with hundreds and hundreds of people every day, sometimes you just need support and you don't have time to run and find a phone because you need to support the person that is in said crisis. So for example, at the Plum Middle School the other day, we had a health situation and an educator wanted to be able to be present in his classroom and be able to support everybody involved. And all he had to do was hit the button that was simply around his neck. He didn't have to go anywhere. He was able to be present, support the students and adults and involved. And we reported to his classroom, the nurse, our school officer, Adam, and myself. We were there within a minute, maybe two, in order to give that teacher and everybody involved all the support that they needed. And the educator then shared with our staff at our faculty meeting how he, for a split second, forgot, oh my goodness, I can just hit my button. But whenever he hit his button, he said, I felt at ease because I knew I didn't have to scramble and run around and look for a roster and look for an extension phone number and figure out who to call. I was just able to hit my button, and I knew you guys would get to me. So it's been fantastic so far. And like I said, I think it will make sure that if there was ever, God forbid, a situation that was dangerous or anybody was in harm's way, we would have that as a tool to use. But even just on the day to day, as far as keeping everybody safe and healthy and things that we don't necessarily think of at first time, it's been a really awesome resource.
Yeah, kudos to the school district for getting that in place. And you're right, though. My mind obviously went to worst case scenario and how this would work, but I didn't think about it on that level, that micro level, smaller things that it could actually still really help with on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for sharing that. Now, a guest interview on this show wouldn't be complete without somehow tying it to sports. It's just what we do. It's just and it just so happens that you played high school soccer at Penn Hills and then in college at Edinboro. And then you coached at Penn Hills for 7 years before taking over the Norwin Girls program this year. How's that going for you?
It's been fantastic. I love it. I love my job. I love going to work every day. It brings me so much joy. Coaching is my other passion. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's amazing. I love that I get to play sports every day. I tell people, I'm like, guys, I'm one shade below a professional athlete. I get paid to play soccer every day. It's awesome. So I tell people, my routine's been the same since I was in kindergarten. I wake up, I go to school, I go to soccer practice, I come home, I get some work done, and I do it all again the next day. But it's just great. Coaching is kind of a mix of all the things I love. I love to teach and I love to educate and I love to play sports and compete. So it's a really cool opportunity that I get to pursue. And I work with a great group of girls. They're awesome kids. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it.
So Penny got to play for Ashley for a season, and I'll say it was the most Penny has ever learned in a single season. Ashley did a great job with her.
Awesome.
And Penny loved, like, every night she came home, she had so much fun at soccer practice. And I'm sorry you had to put up with Penny for a whole year.
No, Penny was great. We had a good time. We had a good time.
Penny's a lot. You can say that.
They all know. But the big question is, your group of Plum girls, they're coming up to the middle school next year. Any desire to maybe make the switch from Norwin to Plum?
I don't know how it works in Plum. I'm not sure. I know everybody's Act 93 agreement is different as far as like administrators being allowed to coach and things of that nature. So I have not looked into that at all. I know Jamie Stewart, who coaches the varsity girls now, and I know he's been there for a while, and he's a friend of mine. He does an awesome job. He's great. So I've not even thought about that. It was crazy because both job opportunities presented themselves to me within weeks of one another. I got hired at Norwin in February, and then I got hired at Plum in March, and it all happened really, really fast. But I've been very, very fortunate because both school districts have been extremely supportive in allowing me to pursue both things. So it's been great.
I've always wondered how that works. I've known teachers when I was in high school that that taught at one school and coached at another. And I always thought, how do you make that work? How's that work for you?
It's an adventure. It's awesome. I leave work every day and I change my clothes at the office, and then I get in the car and I drive over to North Huntington. But it's worked out really well. And I think it's nice too, because my players know me as Coach Ashley and my students know me as Dr. DeVito. And I think that it's nice to have those clear boundaries between those two personalities, because they are different people. Like Coach Ashley and Dr. DeVito aren't the same people. And it's a different relationship with my students versus with my athletes. So I think it's been very nice to be able to differentiate between those things. And then it also allows me to not, take one job to the other one. I don't have to see my players all day. I don't have to see my students all night. So that's kind of been a nice thing. But Saturday, October 5th, everybody, mark your calendars. My Lady Knights are playing the Mustangs at home in Mustang Stadium. We'll be in
Really?
Plum. So I have a cool shirt with a Mustang and a Knight on it that I'm going to wear that day. So I'm very excited. Everybody come out and watch the game. I hope it's going to be tough. I hope I win. I want to win. But
You're going to win either way.
It's
You're
going to
a
be
winner
a tricky
either way.
day. It's going to be a tricky day for sure.
We should all go out, fellas. We could also celebrate my birthday, because that is my birthday. Not that I.
Oh, perfect. What better way? What better way?
Yay, Andy's birthday.
Oh, don't all jump
Yay.
at that, guys. Don't jump.
I definitely have the calendar marked now.
Wait, what,
Cinco
time's
de
the game?
Octubre.
What time is the game?
what's the day?
October 5th.
I think varsity's at 2:30.
It's at Plum.
It's at Plum.
All right.
Dr. Walsh is all over me. He's not messing around. He reminds me all the time. He is not taking it easy on me. I'm like, my team better show up that day.
What was the date again?
October 5th. Come
Right,
on.
yeah.
5th. Okay, sorry. I was just looking because Lily's team is ball girls, but it's not. It's October 9th, not the 5th.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
That's fair.
Well, Dr. Ashley DeVito, everyone, assistant principal at Plum Middle School. Ashley, welcome to the Plum community, and thank you for joining us on Sour Plums tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime. You guys were great.
Oh, it was a fun time. We're known for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Newman, can we get the Minority Report?
We sure can. We got a little twist this week for the Minority Report. For those of you who don't know, the Minority Report is something that only minority people know, but the majority should know. So we have a little twist on Minority Report. It's kind of grammar hammer-ish. So we will start with Mike, of course. I was going to have Andy go last, but I think Dr. DeVito is going to go last because I think she's going to be in on this one.
Yes.
So,
Doctor, you're gonna stick around, Ashley?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm in, I guess.
Let's
She's
do
in.
it. Let's
She's
have
in.
fun. All right.
All right. So there are two types of frozen desserts that begin with the letter S. What are they?
Sorbet,
Is one,
soft serve ice cream.
is not one.
Yes,
That's
it
ice
is.
cream. That is ice cream, not soft serve. It's a type of ice cream. Sorbet, and there's something very similar to sorbet. It could be orange. It could be rainbow.
Sherbet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So those are the two. So we're going to start with you, Mike. Spell them both.
Sorbet,
Is correct. And
Sherbert.
Big Cat, you go next.
SHOBET.
Okay, and what's the second one? I hear some of these keyboards clicking.
SHURBERT.
Okay, and Andy,
Sorbet is SORBET.
correct. And then
Sherbet. Oh man, this is tough. Newman, you got me tonight. Damn it, you got me in my own game.
yeah,
I don't like this at all. This is role reversal.
This is where I was going.
SHERBET.
Okay, and Dr. DeVito.
Sorbet. SORBET.
Mm-hmm.
Sherbet. I feel like it has to be that it's spelled differently than it's pronounced or something. Maybe it's SHER. B. Maybe it's like IT or something.
Okay, let me put you all out of your misery. The correct answer is sorbet and sherbet. There is no R at the end of that. It's just sherbet.
I spelled it right then.
Sherbet.
I did.
Oh, you
You
were
did
right.
spell it correctly, but you pronounced it incorrectly. It's sherbet. There's no sherbet.
Oh, I said sherbet.
Exactly. It's
Ah.
sherbet.
The
Well, at least
short
I
I was
least-
on the right track, maybe.
Yep. So the difference, obviously, sorbet is made with fruit and sugar with no dairy. Sherbet is same, just with dairy, either milk, cream, or buttermilk. The texture.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was more to
The texture. Sorbet is light. It's lighter with an icier texture. And sherbet is creamier texture. The flavor, sorbet is bright, vibrant flavor. Sherbet is flavored with fruit juice or puree, wine, liquor, or non-fruit flavors. Sorbet is used as a palate cleanser.
Let's back the grammar hammer train up here for a second, because Drew's excited he spelled it correctly, but he said it wrong, so he spelled it incorrectly for what he said. Let's not pass over that.
But I spelled it correctly. I mean, I'm still going to hear, guys.
Accident.
I'm going to hear about it from everybody that knows me, that listens to the show, that I said it incorrectly because I'm the damn grammar hammer, and I'm gonna lose my title now. Thanks a lot, Norwin.
Yeah. I'm going to sleep very well tonight.
I'm going to sleep for about 2.5 hours.
This is going to bother him, and I'm so happy about it.
Yep. No sleep.
I don't care that there's not an R. I'm not saying sherbet.
Nope.
You're still going to mispronounce it, right?
I'm saying sherbet. I'm not saying sherbet. I'm not saying sherbet. I'm not going to do it.
All right, then don't. It's just, you're wrong, but it's okay. It's okay to be wrong. Right,
It is
Andy?
Okay.
It is not for me, but for everybody else, for mere mortals, it is okay to be wrong.
Mortals like in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God.
And there it is.
That's
Every
for
time with
Jamie.
Lord of the Rings.
That was for you, Jamie.
Oh. No more Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's it.
All right. Want to give another shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Continental Comb, Tresco Concrete, the Jen Mascaro Real Estate Team, the Lulo's Pizzeria, Salute Beer Distributor, and our newest sponsors, Busy Little Me, and Pittsburgh Sports Complex and Self Storage. Thank you all. Continental Comb Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete, the best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra-free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com.
Lulo's Pizzeria, serving up quality food, good grace, and burnt pizza since 2016. Local and woman-owned, located at 415 Unity Center Road in Plum. Call 412-795-1229 and mention Sour Plums for 10% off your order of $10 or more. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
At Salute Beer Distributor, we are bringing you a large selection of beers from local and national breweries. Our extensive inventory includes craft beers, seasonal specialties, your everyday favorites, adult slushies, and an impressive inventory of non-alcoholic beers. Salute's inventory has something special for every palate. Come browse the aisles at Salute Beer Distributor, located on Route 286 in Plum, next to Shop and Save. You'll be glad you did.
Busy Little Me's is a residential cleaning company serving Plum and local communities. Housekeeping duties include house cleaning, disposing of rubbish, sanitizing services, dusting, vacuuming, mopping, scrubbing, etc., etc. We do custom-to-you cleans once a month, once a week, or every 9 minutes. We got you, sis. We have also been known to do decluttering and pre-clean cleans. That's a real thing. We can also polish a dirty face, scrub a doggo's filthy paws, or even spit shine your shoe. Laundry? Need linens washed? Done. How about your husband's gutchies? No prob. That ugly camisole your mother-in-law gave you? What was that? Just throw it away? Your secrets are safe with us. BusyLittleMes.squarespace.com, BusyLittleMes.squarespace.com.
Mike, what do you got for some Would You Rather tonight?
Would you rather see a specific event in your future or change a specific event in someone else's past? Justin, we'll start with you.
This is easy. I'm changing something in someone else's past. I don't want to see my future. I don't know. I think that would mess with me mentally. I would love to go back and change something for someone else that, like, either a horrific event that happened in someone's life. Like, if I could take that pain away from someone, I'm taking that pain away from someone. I don't care about seeing something that happens for me. I want to take that pain away. I want someone to experience something positive, then rather than me have experience something positive.
That was one of the nicest things you've ever said.
And I meant it.
I could make this episode shorter by saying ditto. but I won't. I'm with Justin 100% on that. Yeah, I don't want to see my future at all. I really don't want to see that. But I would go back. Maybe changing an event and someone. My best friend in high school passed away. If I could change that event, wow, I'd do that in a heartbeat, right? That's all that untapped potential, all that life unlived. Something like that. I'd definitely go back and change an event for someone else's life.
Ashley?
I mean, it's hard to disagree with either of those. I think those are pretty spot on. I don't know that I'd want to see what's happening. I feel like if you knew something was happening in your future, you'd be waiting for it and try to make decisions to avoid it, and it would get all messed up. So I just don't think that would be a very wise move, in addition to how good it would feel to be able to make the decision to go back and do something good for someone else. I think that the suffering and waiting for whatever this thing is that you saw would be pretty miserable. So I'd like to avoid that.
Big Cat.
I'm gonna look into the future. I'm gonna see what's going on. It is great, and I don't want to have to put down your side of it to bolster my side, but I don't think I'd be able to pick one person. And
it's a fair point. That's really
actually a very fair point.
I couldn't. I was thinking at first, like, oh yeah, that's easy, but then I started to think, oh well, how do I rank that worse than this? So let me look into the future, see what's happening, and maybe I can make positive for everyone.
Well, so initially, you guys took this way differently than I did, and now I feel like an absolute shitbag for what I'm about to say. But
call me Negro Damas. All right.
So initially, I thought I was going to go and see a horrific event in the future and do what I could to change it, because nothing in here said you couldn't change it. So, like, to avoid something. But then I thought I could go back in somebody else's past and change something for them to benefit me. Like the day we met, like the day I met somebody who I couldn't stand, like I can't stand now. I could change something in that event to where I just never have to deal with that person ever again. And there are some people in my current right now that I would love to not have to see ever again. So I would pick one of them.
I kind of like that thought process, though.
like in this studio right now, Mike.
No, but then Justin said what he said, and then I was like, oh shit, I could bring Sean back and like tell him to go get his chest X-rayed, and you know he'd probably be sitting here with us too. So now I'm a shitbag. So thanks, Justin.
Do what I can.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question, just really quickly on that, and maybe go around the room. If you could know when you were going to die, would you want to know?
Absolutely not.
100% no? No question?
No question.
I would want to know when I was going to die. I wouldn't want to know how.
I don't think I want to know that.
No,
I don't think so. I think there's certain things we're just not supposed to know, and I think that's one of them. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm at peace with that.
I mean, if you know it's going to change every action you have from here on out, right? It will.
Correct.
Right? Every single action you have. And that's
Correct.
I've wavered on that, and I've thought about that before. I saw this question posed somewhere a few weeks ago, maybe on TV or something, and maybe it was in a game, I don't know. And I still haven't decided my answer on that. I just thought I would bring it up here. What about you, Big Cat? You're thoughtful.
I've always done better with a deadline. So if it's like
this is a literal deadline now.
Here we go.
So if it's like less than 10 years, where do you want to be in 2 years? So I don't know.
I'd still procrastinate. I'll put it off
I got time.
till the day you don't.
Yeah.
Andy,
Yes, Justin.
I hear you got shit to say.
I do have shit to say tonight, Justin. In lieu of my typical grammar hammer or this or that segment, I am going to talk about youth sports and how out of control parents are after an episode this weekend at my son's AAU tournament. The game right before ours, I think it was 16U, so we're talking sophomores in high school. I mean, the whole game was chippy. I think there were 7 or 8 technicals given out in the game. A kid makes a shot and they got to get in the other kid's face and do things, which is fine. I like a little bit of talk. I do. But what makes it worse is that you've got parents on the sideline that are essentially jumping onto the court. We've got another parent who has a toy megaphone that has a siren on it. And every time the team scores, 16-year-old boys score, she's putting off a siren and getting into other parents' face. And it was a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what happened. When that game was over, it was a close game, 2 or 3 point difference. Game was over. Teams were kind of shaking hands, but the coach that won, jumped up and down, did a dance in front of everybody. And then parents got upset. And then I saw the woman with the megaphone got punched in the nose. I got to admit, I wasn't super sympathetic to her at the moment. She was all over the place, but it's a scene that shouldn't happen, right? And then when that happens, all the benches clear as they're shaking hands. They all start running over. You've got people running out of the gym. You've got 16-year-olds now throwing sucker punches. You've got cops coming in. Our game was delayed by 20 or 25 minutes because the cops had to come in, take everybody out. And I think the worst part about it is everybody went out. They were questioned or whatever, or cooled down. Then they all were allowed to come back in. Look, you throw a punch, you're out of here. I mean, that to me, that's where I stand on it. And this isn't the first time. I see this happening. And I even said it when my son's game was about to tip off because we were playing that same team, their younger team, their 15U team. I said, if this gets out of control, we're out of here. This is a basketball game. This isn't life or death. I'm not getting my kid punches thrown at my kid or parents, things like that. I got to tell you, last year, it's its own because it's a Plum parent. Last year with an AAU game, and this parent his mom is just chirping the whole time. We're just sitting there cheering like any parents would be. She's chirping the whole time, and the game gets a little aggressive. There's a lot of hard fouls because they're a bigger, more physical team than we are. Hard fouls happen in basketball. It's a physical sport. But she didn't like it. And she kept coming over to our side of the bleachers, our parents' side of the bleachers, and clapping in our hands and saying things. And this is what I said earlier in the show, Justin. She kept saying, I said what I said. I said what I said. And I said, I had to speak. I'm like, are you serious right now? We're at a basketball game. Let's just watch the kids play basketball. She's like, well, your kids are playing like it's a football game. And then she just goes off and off. Then I realized it's a Plum mom. Her son played on the same team as Xavier in 7th grade, way deep on the bench. And she was into this game. He didn't play a minute. She is into this game. He didn't play a minute. They had 14 kids on the team. She is so into a youth sports game. Her son's not even participating in. How could you be that invested in it, right? Who cares? I'm there for my kid to develop and take and get better at basketball. And parents are out there ruining it for kids, ruining it for referees. Those referees, man, you couldn't pay me enough to referee an AAU basketball game. Have you guys ever seen anything like this, or have you reffed any games like this, Justin?
I have reffed 2 games like that at the Y.
Wow, at the Y.
Kids involved?
Yes, at the Y. They were not kids; they were parents.
Yeah,
it's 9 times out of 10 it's the parents.
Almost
it is
always
very rarely
parents.
The kids.
Parents ruin
very rarely the kids.
Kids sports, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. That happened at so Kenyon is now on a new cup soccer team, and they had their first games. He plays in GLA, which is the highest you can play in soccer. And we had games in Canton, and the coach had to call a parents' meeting after these 2 games and said, look, the kids are getting along just fine. If there's going to be a problem, it is going to be the parents, and you're going to ruin this for your kids. So he nipped that in the bud almost instantly. So he put it out there like, if there's going to be an issue, it's going to be the parents. And he's not wrong, because I can see it brewing already, because it's like pockets of, because there were 6 or 7 kids that came from our cup team went over to Riverhounds, and then Riverhounds combined with Beadling. So it's like 3 separate entities coming into one. So he was like, if there's going to be an issue, it's going to be the parents. It's not going to be the kids. So, and he's not wrong.
Well, so we have Ashley on. Let me ask you this question, because you are a paid coach, and it's different, right? Like you're now an employee, you're not a volunteer, and you're coaching high school now. You've coached cup soccer. Have you coached any youth soccer, like as a volunteer?
Whenever I was like a college student, I helped out some at like the Penn Hill Soccer Association and stuff like that.
So what's the difference like in the progression of those organizations with parents, and how you're expected to treat them, how they treat you when you're getting a paycheck for it versus when you're not?
I think that it's challenging because, especially at the club level and the AAU level and all these other levels, families are investing so much financially in travel and days off work and booking a hotel and renting a car and doing all these things in order for their child to have as many opportunities as possible, which is awesome that everybody wants to invest in their child's future and give them the opportunity to pursue all their goals and dreams. So it's super challenging. I don't have children, but I could imagine, if I had a child and I'm calling off work on Friday and traveling home late on Sunday and going into work on Monday and my kid didn't get in, I could see where that's challenging. Like, that's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's just important for coaches at any level to be able to have honest conversations about how it got to that point. I don't necessarily think that anybody has horrible and bad intentions, but I think there's a communication issue a lot of the times. And we as coaches, I think, need to make sure we're doing a good job of communicating, hey, little Joey, this is why today wasn't your day. As an athlete, I could tell you my least favorite day would always be the day where I didn't get in or I didn't get as much time as I wanted. And then my coach is like, oh, you're doing great. You're doing all the right things. You're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you. And then you're like, well, why am I sitting on the bench then? So I, from the coach's angle, and to kind of put the accountability on coaches in an area where I think we can improve and just make sure we're doing better is, it's our job to have hard conversations with our athletes and with their parents. And I think that as coaches, if we're transparent with our athletes and with our parents and saying, this is exactly what you can do to play more, this is exactly what you can do to improve, and right now this is what you're not doing that's making you unsatisfied with this situation. I think just having clear communication and making sure that everybody's on the same page, I've found that it leaves much more opportunity off the table for parents or athletes or anybody to complain, because everybody knows exactly where they stand. I think a lot of the complaints come whenever parents and players are left in the dark. So I'm a big communicator. I'm an over communicator. If you're underperforming or meeting expectation, you always know where you stand on my team. And I found that because of that, players and parents that aren't necessarily happy with my decision or don't agree with my decision or think I'm completely wrong, they at least can't argue with it because they know where my decision came from and why.
Yeah,
100%. Absolutely.
One thing I found with parents is they don't want to hear your opinion. They want to hear their opinion in your voice when they ask you a question. And that's the hardest thing, because everybody says they want the truth and they don't. They want their opinion.
They don't want that at all. My roughest coaching would have been PBBO when I actually had to make cuts. And then when I made cuts, I had to divvy up playing time. And when you're doing playing time and a kid doesn't see the floor as much as he would want to, then you have to deal with parents that are angry about it. And my thing was always, I'm here to win. We are here to develop your kids, for them to understand teamwork, camaraderie, sportsmanship, but we are also here to win. I am not here to have everyone play equal playing time. I want to make sure that we are here to represent ourselves the best way we can, and that is try to win the game. And that's just what it boils down to. And my thought was always, well, if you feel that your kid is better, who do you think your kid is better than? Whose spot should they take on the field or on the floor?
And nobody wants to answer that question.
If you give me a legitimate response to that, we can have a conversation. But if you can't, I have nothing else to say to you.
I'll say this: we played that just to end this conversation, like a little bit, like move on. My son's team played that team on Saturday, and they played the same team on Sunday. On Saturday, it was super chippy. We had the siren lady, we had the megaphone going, we had all these parents antagonizing when there was a hard foul. They just made it worse, right? All of that volume on the sideline. Well, the second time we played them, 3/4 of the parents were being questioned by the police for most of the game. So when left to their own devices, though, the kids play each other again. Both sides, there were hard fouls on both sides. They were helping each other up. They were saying great. They were. It's not the kids. The kids are such a small portion of it. And if the kid behaves a certain way, it's usually because their parents behaving barbarically on the sideline. That's really it. They're feeding off of that energy. They're feeding off of those sounds and those screaming and all that stuff. Just cheer for your kid. And while we're at it, might as well offend Plum because that's what I do. Let's cut the cowbell bullshit, can we? Like who needs to hear a cowbell? We're cheering at a football game. Let's just cheer, scream a name. Let's cut the cowbells. Jesus, I'm sitting there in my ear. Oh my God, it's a 6-year-old flag football game.
More cowbell.
Less cowbell, please. Anyway,
thank you for coming to Andy's TED Talk.
Yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Ashley, I hope you can stick around for a few more minutes. Do you have a few more minutes?
I got a couple minutes.
Okay, because we have something that I think you're going to love.
Okay.
Depends how Mike does here with the category, but we have blind rankings. Mike's going to give us 5 things within a category, and we have to rank them blindly without knowing what he's going to do next. So he says something, you might like it a lot, and you pick it at 1, but later on in the show, he says something you like even better, but you can't rank it any higher because you've already ranked it. So this is blind rankings. Take it away, Mike.
All right. So like I said earlier in the show, I just got a smoker a couple weeks ago. I've smoked a lot of meat over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And you know what? I get so focused on the main dish, I never know what to put on the side. So I have barbecue side dishes for tonight's blind ranking.
Barbecue side dishes. All right. I like this.
All right. First one, corn on the cob.
I usually don't do this, but corn on the cob just doesn't appeal to me as far as when pairing with barbecue. That's 5 for me. It's too much work. I'd rather have corn off the cob. At that point with barbecue, that's just too much work. I'm already digging into ribs and eating like a maniac there. I don't need to do it with corn too. I'm going 5, corn on the cob.
Ashley?
All right. I'm not the best eater. I'm pretty picky. Like I'm straight up still sometimes chicken nuggets. I can't even lie.
Love this woman.
So I
Preach.
corn on the cob is safe. So I like corn on the cob because it's safe because I don't know where else this is going to go. So I'm going to go 2 for corn on the cob.
Wow.
Justin?
Corn on the cob is number 1.
Really?
Nothing will top corn on the cob. Corn is my favorite vegetable. My wife and friends make fun of me anytime we go by a cornfield. They always point it out to me. Corn is the greatest vegetable known to man.
You a Denny sweet corn guy?
Love it.
Wow.
Love it. I hit up the corn every time I drive by one of the. It's a Ballston, whether it's at the bowling alley, whether it is on the other side of Plum. I am stopping at that stand and I'm spending $10 every single time. Every time.
Big cat.
Wow.
I'm gonna put it at 2. I'm gonna go with the doctor on this one.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to be offensive, but just before we move on to the next one, I had higher expectations for Justin. There's just something about barbecue. I don't know. I just thought.
Where are you going with this, Drew?
I'm not going anywhere. We're going to the next one anyway.
Are you saying barbecue is BPS?
It may be. The good barbecue anyway.
Right. Skip here.
All right. We're back.
All right, before we get off the corn on the cob, I just got to tell you this because I don't think my father-in-law listens to the show.
You hope.
So
Your wife doesn't even listen to the show.
after this, if he does, he's not going to listen anymore. But next time I have corn on the cob, I'm gonna video this because watching him eat corn on the cob is repulsive. I'm not kidding. He takes a slab of butter about a quarter-inch thick, puts it in his mouth, and then eats a row of corn.
No way.
Oh,
Swear
that's
to God.
foul.
And then he takes another slab of butter, puts it in his mouth, and eats the next row of corn.
Mike,
And he's on Lipitor.
Mike,
Go figure.
record it, slap a Sour Plums logo on it. We're going viral. That's insane behavior.
Hell yes. Oh my God, that's so gross, but I have to see this. Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh.
It's gross. All right, next one. Mac and cheese.
Numero uno for me. Mac and cheese is the perfect side for barbecue. As long as it's cooked well. I'm not talking Kraft. I'm talking a real good greasy mac and cheese. Greasy, cheesy mac and cheese. 1.
Ashley?
I think it's my safest bet to also go 1 here for the mac and cheese. Like I said, I'm pretty basic, and that is in my wheelhouse. So I can do a mac and cheese. Yes.
Justin?
I have the palate of a toddler, and I hate pasta, and I hate cheese. So that is going at number 55, if I could put it that low.
I feel
Dr.
like mac and
DeVito
cheese
is-
toddler.
I hate
No?
pasta, and I hate cheese.
Oh, I guess I was a different kind of toddler.
Big Cat.
That story's a little conflicting, but we'll move on. 3 for mac and cheese.
So we actually had mac and cheese to decide this weekend from Sam's Club. They're like, you bake it mac and cheese, like it's already pre-put together. You bake it. It was pretty good, pretty delicious. So I highly recommend Sam's Club. Not a sponsor yet, but if they want to be, mac and cheese is good.
Members mark.
Next one, broccoli salad.
Well, you're getting some bad looks here, Mike. I got to tell you though, I do like it. I don't really put broccoli salad with barbecue though. I don't mix the two.
What
But
do you eat it with?
Other stuff, like not like maybe hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, but not barbecue. Not like I'm thinking ribs. I'm thinking barbecue chicken. No, I'll put it at 3 because I like it, but it doesn't go with barbecue. It shouldn't be part of the meal. Sorry.
Ashley.
I'm assuming there's going to be something else worse, so I'm going to go 4. But that's because I'm playing it safe.
Justin.
I am not a
Disgusted.
rabbit. I don't eat broccoli, and I don't eat salad. So that could go to 105, but it's going at 4.
Wow.
Big Cat, save us here.
Justin is just cutting out food groups left and right. I really like broccoli salad, especially Carly's that she makes. I'm gonna put it at 4 because I can't put it higher right now.
I would also like to point out this white people shit.
Broccoli salad's delicious. And if Carly makes good broccoli salad, you need to bring that over next time.
I will have her make it for you.
Baked beans.
To me, baked beans are fine, but the only time I will eat baked beans is with barbecue. So 2. Baked beans at 2. Everybody else is disgusted. I can see their faces, but it goes with barbecue. It just does. It just does.
Ashley.
I think I'm going to put that at my 5.
Not a fan.
Mm-mm. No, just no.
Justin.
I got to put it at 2. I ate baked beans at one point in time in my life, so I don't eat them anymore, but I tolerated them for a while, so we'll put them in 2. And I do think of hot dogs and baked beans always going together.
Franks and beans.
Beans, musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. Eat those beans at every meal.
Thanks for that interlude. Big Cat.
I'm holding out because I think I know your number 1,
I think
I want to put it at number 1, but I'm going to put baked beans at 5. But I do like baked beans. This just has to go at the end of the list.
I was on a kick for a while where I had couscous, baked beans, and warm bread for lunch every day for like 3 weeks. It was delicious.
No,
The
it
hell?
wasn't. No, it wasn't. There's something wrong.
Oh, it was so good. I watched this YouTube guy who served, like, he was like a survival guy, and he ate it one day and it looked delicious, and I just had it for like 3 weeks. But all right, last one, ambrosia salad.
What? What is? What even is that?
Like the little marshmallows and
I hate
cherries
this.
and
Oh,
pineapple.
Mike,
The-
you had a
It's
great
real.
talk. Mike,
That's a dessert.
It's
You
still no, it's a side. It's a Thanksgiving side too.
what was
List,
it? What was
list
it?
the ingredients again? Marshmallows, dessert. Cherries,
No.
dessert. What'd you say? What was the? Mike.
It is.
Mike,
It's a fruit salad that originated in the southern United States. Contains pineapple, mandarin orange slices, marshmallows, and coconut.
It's a dessert.
I
It's
have to
not
put
a-
it 4, but it's not even. Mike, your category was barbecue sides. I was like, this is gonna be great. Where's collard
What
greens?
the hell do you
Where's-
think they eat in the South?
wh-
In the South, what do they eat? Barbecue.
What's
all the time.
south?
Oh, I
South
mean,
side.
No, South down.
South Pitts, South Hills,
South
ambrosia
down.
salad.
Where?
Oh
Name
my
one
God.
state in the South,
Ambrosia-
Mike.
Broccoli salad at a barbecue.
South Carolina.
Corn. I mean, these aren't even 4.
Mike, you couldn't have said a state closer to the north than South Carolina.
Say it with me. Why peephole?
Oh my God.
Where are you putting it, Justin?
I have to put it at 3 because
That's all you got.
that's all I got.
What do you got left,
Pretty-
Ashley?
I only had 3 left also, but
Do you know what it
I
is?
like fruit. No, but I
Oh.
like fruit. I like marshmallows. So I feel happy with my list. It worked out well.
Big Cat. What do you got left?
I'm putting this at 5 and moving everything up a notch because if he can have a dessert listed as a barbecue side dish, I can put this at 5 and move all mine up one.
This approach is the wrestling fiasco. It does. It's right up there.
So listen, it is.
This is like when a football player fumbles on the goal line, like open touchdown, and
Where's
they drop
coleslaw?
the ball. Where's coleslaw, Mike?
Cornbread.
Listen,
I was holding out
Google
for
says
coleslaw.
Google says is a refreshing dessert or side dish. Or side dish. It says side dish.
Mike,
Drew
share
was
right
first.
now.
What was first? What was first in that, Mike? Dessert.
Or so that means you could put either one first. It's or. It's not
Mike,
and, it's or. No.
First of all,
whatever.
you should have said coleslaw. That's what you should have said. Ambrosia salad, no. Coleslaw. But share with Sour Plums right now how you serve coleslaw at your house for cookouts.
I don't know. So first of all, time out. You're getting this wrong because I put coleslaw as a topping for the pork sandwiches, or you can mix it into a slaw.
You fake
So
ass
I put
Permane
shredded-
brothers.
I don't know what to do anymore. I'm
We've
really
lost
just
Ashley. She's like, what are these guys talking about right now?
I knew corn on the cob was where I belonged. That's
Yeah,
what, the corn on the cob, the mac and
you
cheese.
should have gone out. You should have gone
I
out
don't know
after
anything
that.
about anything. The toppings on the sandwiches, you lost me.
Coleslaw is a topping, not a side. Ambrosia
Like, I'm
salad is a side, not a dessert. I can't keep track of this guy.
Well,
First of all, it's shredded cabbage you put on top of your pork
Whatever.
sandwich. Is what it is.
Put
If you want
ambrosia
coleslaw,
salad on it.
That would be disgusting.
All right, Mike.
So,
Before Ashley
my-
goes, what's your list? What's your list? Let
right.
us know.
My favorite broccoli salad. I do love that, so I have that at 1. But it has to be good broccoli salad. If you have shitty broccoli salad, I don't want it. Mac and cheese, little golden brown on top, excellent. Corn on the cob, only Denny sweet corn. That's the good stuff there. Baked beans, because I did have them for 3 weeks in a row. I'm kind of sick of them, but I do like good baked beans. And then ambrosia, because it's not really a side for a barbecue.
Oh my!
Exactly. You couldn't come up with any other things. You
No,
ran
I
out.
had it at a barbecue once, and I was like, "This is bullshit. It's not really shouldn't be here." But I put
It shouldn't have been on this
Should be on
program
this
tonight.
list.
This is
It should be number
so messed up. This is so messed up.
I demand a recount. Ashley, I just want to say thank you for joining us. This is the last game we play, so I want to make sure you can actually get some sleep tonight. I know you had a busy night, but thank you for joining us and having some fun with us.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to visiting again soon.
We'll see you October 5th.
See you then. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Mike won't mess it all up next time.
I stand by my list.
Of course you do.
I would have put ambrosia way lower than all you did.
Shouldn't even had on the goddamn list.
Mike,
You saved it for last. I was waiting for coleslaw, but I was getting a little fired up there, and it's all in good fun. But I'm at Mike's house, and he has coleslaw, but it's like cabbage in one bowl and the dressing just sitting out, not mixed in a separate, like in the jar. And
in case you don't want coleslaw.
His reasoning is if you want the cabbage for the pork sandwich, but you don't want the slaw dressing. I just don't know.
I put coleslaw on my pork sandwich sometimes.
Yeah. I had that at Mission Barbecue.
The dressing's right there if you want it.
Yeah,
but some people don't want the slaw.
I'll get the
do it yourself coleslaw.
If I ever get invited, I'll get the sides.
You were there, ass.
You were there. You missed a lot of shots that day.
I was also very drunk.
I had 2 70% beers in an hour. Plus, I'm the only person who hit the full court shot. Thank you very much.
Took me a while. I have a small pad in the driveway.
Shots?
What do you mean full court?
Because they were shooting from like half court distance.
Well, because of his height and the driveway, it evens out. You guys want to play around? You guys want to mess around with Big Cat? You find out real quick, boys.
All right, no more messing around with Big Cat.
Play crickets after everything I say.
He's lucky. I have no editing ability this week. None. I'm out of town. I'm not taking my iMac with me. All right, Mike. We got any voicemails tonight?
We got a couple tonight. You ready?
Yeah.
People Plum. It's me, Jim McBride. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Jimmy's Inside Scoop. Now, this is always a concern this time of the year. I'm not going to mention his name, but there's a certain guy who lives on Key West that just puts his mower away for the season. We lose kids every year in his yard in Halloween. Is there maybe we could get a payment plan or something for somebody to cut his grass? What are we thinking to take care of our dear friend Greg Acero's yard? Looking for suggestions and ideas, guys. Also, I brought the heat to the penis pole. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.
It's funny. Greg Acero is a mutual friend of mine and Jimmy's. We didn't know that till this year. But yeah, I was just about to text him to mow his grass, and he was saying why he couldn't talk for too long. We just asked him to get drinks. He's like, I can't. I have to mow my grass. I'm like, well, it's good you mentioned that because everybody's getting on your ass on the other group chat about mowing your grass. So yeah, let's start a GoFundMe. Save the kids. Save the kids this Halloween. We don't want to lose any kids in Greg's yard. No, it's all in good fun. He did mow his grass, I believe. I did not confirm that, but he told me, and Greg's not a liar. So
maybe he's setting it up for Halloween, so he has the tall grass, so people have to weed their way through it. See what I did there?
There you go.
I just found that I work with Greg, and we could talk on Teams. So,
that's wild. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Small world.
Jimmy told me last show, and I forgot to bring it up. He did bring the heat to the penis pole. The heater was broken, and he fixed the heater, and now the penis pole is nice and hot.
Well done, Jimmy.
Oh, hey, Sour Plums, long-time listener, first-time call. Actually, I don't ever listen. But anyways, I just wanted to call you guys because Jimmy McBride doesn't get the respect he deserves. He literally brought the heat to the penis pole last week. Literally fixed the heat. Leave him alone. Respect him. Have a great day, guys. Love ya.
I don't even know who that was.
I'm not sure. She didn't mention who she was, did she? No. Moving along.
Sour Plums, what's happening? Hey, I just, I'm catching up on some old episodes because I fell behind. I was listening to episode 12, right around the, 454, 455 mark. Mr. Grammarhammer over here drops an opinion. You can go back and listen to it if you want. I know he always gets on Mike whenever he mispronounces stuff, and don't take this as me calling him defensive Mike because he's had a couple, blind rankings lists that were less than popular with me, and that sliding in Planet of the Apes on the last one was pretty messed up. But anyway, I just wanted to call and drop that hammer onions. See ya.
Yeah, I heard nothing after Drew mispronounced the word.
So about that, I knew that happened. I listened to it. I listened to the final edit before I uploaded. I knew it happened. Nobody had called me out on it. And I thought I was in the clear. I did, in fact, say opinion. I can admit that. It doesn't make up, it doesn't cancel out all of the great things I've said on the show and all the things I've said correctly. It certainly doesn't surpass Mike's fuck ups on the show. But thank you for bringing that up. I believe was that Steve who brought that up. Was that Steve?
That was Steve.
That was definitely Steve.
You might not be able to see him. He lives right next door to Greg. If you
I couldn't see him over the grass. No, couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Little fella.
Good job there, Ralph Wiggum. That's unpopular.
So thanks for bringing it up, Steve. Appreciate it.
That's all of them tonight.
All right. Anybody got any shout outs for tonight?
I have one. Our Lady Mustang soccer team is not only on a 6-game winning streak, but a 6-game shutout streak where they have outscored their opponents 22-0.
Wow.
In six games. So keep rolling, girls. I think this could be a good year. We make a run at the Whippeal title.
Nice. Shout out to the Fall League Plum basketball team. They had their first game last night. They beat Elizabeth Ford by 20 points.
Nice.
It was a solid win. Max Grice was on fire. I think he went 6 for 8 from 3.
Wow.
He was unconscious. It was great to watch.
Thank you for listening to Sour Plums. Like this episode, subscribe to our channel on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. Share if you care. We're out.
Peace.